All right, so welcome to another rapid fire business story of the week. This is part of our rapid fire series, and today we have an incredible guest with us, someone who's achieved extraordinary success and is here to share their unique business journey with you. We're excited to hear their insights, so let's welcome them to the show. All right, so as this is our rapid fire series, we've got 1 minute or less to answer each question. So in a minute or less, give us the elevator pitch to your story and your life. Go.
My name is Sarah. I'm a locally owned business operator here in Jacksonville, Florida. I was a stay-at-home mom. I'm also a veterinarian in the military as a previous vet. And so I decided that I wanted to open up my own company, and I went with Biohazard cleanup because it's a well in demand need here in Jacksonville, Florida. I knew that I could handle it, and it is a very small niche, and we specialize in biohazard work, anything from unattended death, crime scene cleanup, suicides, and then, like I said, we also do mold remediation services, which is highly needed in Florida as well.
So that's fascinating, and I would love to dig a little bit deeper. So tell us a bit more about what you're working on today that you're most passionate about and believe will have the biggest impact.
I always like to bring to attention veteran suicide and mental health awareness because we do deal with a lot of people who struggle with addiction and mental health issues. So this past week we had to clean up a person who had overdosed off of fentanyl. You can always catch us on social media at Jax DeCon. We are on all of the media outlets, Instagram, and TikTok and Facebook as well. But I always like to bring awareness to those because, I hold that's passionate to my heart, and a lot of people don't realize that overdoses is such a huge epidemic along with veteran suicide, and so I'm very passionate about those services that we offer.
So this next question is one that every entrepreneur has dealt with. Tell us about a time where you failed. We often say failure is the first step to success. So think about a time where you failed in the past. What happened? What did you learn from it?
Well, goodness, I think that the most successful people are the ones who have failed the most. So we are in our second year of business. We've actually had quite a few failures, but they're all successes in my mind because it gives us a chance to redirect our attention on where it goes. So sometimes we've overquoted projects, we've underquoted projects. It's always a interesting parallel, and we've just learned through those mistakes. Sometimes we've utilized the wrong tools on jobs, and it's taken us twice as long. So our process is much more efficient this year, and our prices are very reasonable. We offer the best prices in Jacksonville. We can beat all of our competition because we're locally owned and operated. We don't have a high overhead cost, and we consider ourselves the compassionate cleaners, and we love what we do.
That's fascinating. That's fascinating. And we're definitely going to have you back on the show to dive deeper into each of these questions. But for now, one thing that I often say is, and I tell this to my employees and the people who work with me and for me all the time, is that when a tree falls in the forest, if nobody hears it, did that tree actually fall? This brings me to this next question. How do you make sure that all of these amazing projects that you're involved in get noticed? What marketing and advertising methods have worked best for you? You've got a minute. Let's go.
We are involved in networking here, local networking groups such as BNI. We also do Google ads, and also word of mouth stuff like this really helps. We have a very good reputation, and we have a big community here in Jacksonville. And we do a lot of community events, like we were just in our local Jacksonville Beach Parade. So we try to get involved in our community, and we also have done some pro bono work for the FDLE and other places, so we do try to give back to our community. We love Jacksonville, Florida, and we love where we live, and we are always up for getting out there, whether it's paid advertising or free advertising. We just want to get our name out in the community.
That was so awesome. We're definitely going to dive deeper into this on a later show. And as we approach our last question, before we ask people how people can get a hold of you, how people can reach you, learn more about the work that you're doing in your company, and we will include all that information in the show notes. What I wanted to ask you is, what is one piece of advice that you would offer to your younger self, to our audience, and to somebody, especially somebody who's just starting out in the same niche that you're in, but just doesn't know how to start or get going?
Well, my motto is never give up. And if I'm not making mistakes, I'm not learning. So, I don't let my mistakes hold me back. And I think you need to believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, then everybody else will believe in you. So having a good, healthy self-esteem and taking care of yourself mentally and physically is a must, especially in my industry. And just never give up, and believing in yourself, and take everything with a grain of salt, any kind of mistakes, because they're just learning lessons in the end.
Amazing stuff. We're going to have to thank our guest today for being a guest on Business Story of the Week. And before we cut out on this episode, I wanted to ask you, how can people get a hold of you? How can people learn more about what you're doing? And how do people engage with you? And we will transcribe this and put it in the show notes for everybody to find.
Absolutely. Well, we have some awesome videos on social media. Like I said, come check us out, follow us. We are on TikTok. We're also on Instagram and Facebook. It's at Jax DeCon. That's JAXDECON. We are a locally owned and operated company, but that's not to say that we won't be expanding. And it's at Jax DeCon. And our phone number is 904-906-6094, and we are open 24/7 for all of the emergency calls to come in. And we look forward to hearing from you.